So, after defeating the spiders with lots of fire, perhaps a bit too much fire because we didn't get to eat any of them, we continued searching the cave. Din found a giant smear of blood, which was quite interesting. And upon investigation, we noticed that this blood is probably marking off a bit of cave to keep people who are not as curious as I out of an area. I should have probably had fear instead of curiosity. I don't quite know what's wrong with me. But at any rate, we discovered a giant sleeping monster and decided to leave that be and explore the rest of the cave. Brieg was making a bunch of noise when Din and I found some chests. Not quite sure what he was saying. But we went to open the chests and Din set off a bit of a trap. And then Brieg said something about waking up the thing and this is where it gets its food from stupid people and something. At which point, both the giant and the chests woke up and came to attack us. I single-handedly put the giant out of commission long enough for the rest of my team to kill it with a wonderfully placed key strike, disabling and stunning it. Din handily fought off all of the mimics until we were able to assist her. She did a great job and seems to be a little bit under the weather, but she was holding off 3 very dangerous monsters, and we've just finished fighting them, and it's time now to take stock of the situation, and I hope everyone's as okay as they look.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, you've just won. What are you gonna do?
Do mimics have things in them like chests? I'm gonna go look because I have never seen one before, and I'm super curious.
I'm still standing by this giant. I'm gonna make sure that it is actually dead, and then I'm gonna see if it has anything that looks like belongings.
Okay. The giant is wearing nothing, which is painfully obvious now that you are actually looking.
I pause for a moment, embarrassed by the fact that it is probably as big as I am.
About that size, yeah.
Before moving on.
Yeah. And Harbeck, you realize the inside of the mimics is fleshy and disgusting. You could stick your hand in what is basically their mouth, if you wanted to.
That's interesting. Like, Harbeck is just, like, totally curious about, like, science. Like, oh, it's a mouth. I wonder, how does a thing like that... I wonder if this was magically created. I wonder if... if I have time to think and look, and notice that Din has taken a bunch of strength damage and is not okay...
Din looks very, very pale and shaky on her feet.
I'm going to sample some saliva from the giant mimic mouths.
Okay. Alright, what is everybody else doing?
Sitting down.
I'm gonna go wander back into the giant's cave now that Giant is dead, and see if there is anything of interest in here.
So I've just written down mimic saliva in 4 of my sample flasks.
Okay.
Maybe the dragon that it apparently killed and ate had started amassing a horde, and it's in here somewhere. Or maybe the giant did have some belongings, just not on its person. Anyway, just gonna go poke around in its cave a little bit and see if there's anything interesting.
Okay. Nothing of note. Nothing that you've seen thus far that would indicate. I mean, you can do a search check if you want. If you're like thoroughly searching its lair.
Yeah, sure. I'll focus that search like on its little sleeping nook where we found it. Yep. Seems the most likely place that it would keep its stuff to me. 22.
You find like its bedding is like a whole bunch of furs. It sleeps sort of sitting up, propped against a rock. Mm-hmm. But besides, some refuse, some bones, etc. There's nothing there that you would consider valuable. There is of course the corpse of a dragon, bronze, you would guess, although it's hard to tell. And that's in itself is a rarity because dragons are very rarely seen in modern times. They used to be a lot more common, but in recent times, since the Cataclysm, dragons have become more of an oddity than an occurrence. You know, it's not something that not everybody's seen a dragon. In fact, most people haven't.
Are dragon hides valuable then? Dragon teeth? Or should we be, like, salvaging valuables?
I suspect that Rogar will frown on harvesting this particular dragon.
What if we make it
metallic-
into, like, an awesome shield for him to carry?
I assume that, like, I have some kind of affinity for dragons in general, but I guess I don't actually know that because I don't really know that much about dragonkin in spite of being one. Because I've never played
You have
So
affinity for dragons. You also worship a dragon, and bronze dragons are part of the children of Bahamut, if you will.
Yeah,
They're a
the-
chromatic dragon.
The metallic
So-
dragons are the good
Metallic.
guys.
I would be more interested in like burying it. And I'm gold, so it's not too far from bronze. Just saying. But right now I'm keeping watch. But no, I would really like it if you didn't dismember that dragon.
That was an out-of-character ask to learn about the setting and not a thing that Harbeck has actually suggested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Just so there's no tension, you know.
Yeah.
So after I poke around and don't discover anything, I'm gonna go and ask Rogar. Rogar, is there a proper way to respect the body of the dragon, or should we burn it or bury it, or is there something we should do?
So in your faith, Rogar, you would say a prayer over the dragon, which would typically take a couple of hours. It's a fairly devout sort of process, very ritualistic. But besides that, you don't need anything other than the holy symbol that you carry to actually perform the rites. But otherwise, Bahamut and the Allfather Io believe in the returning of life to the earth. So you don't have to bury it. You can just let the dead dragon lie, and let nature take its course.
Well, I'd be happy to keep watch if you want to perform your rites.
That would be.
Okay, so Rogar's going to be performing the rites over the.
Yeah, if people are okay with me spending the time to do that, I would definitely like to.
I'm guessing that.
How many hours are we talking? Can I rest and get some of my strength bits back?
Strength won't be coming back until you get the opportunity to rest for like long rest periods. So
How bad does it smell in here?
But we do take a short rest.
there's not a lot of fresh kills or anything in here. Roll a intelligence check. In fact, all of you can roll an intelligence check. You've spent a fair bit of time in this area.
Just like the plain
untrained.
skill.
Yeah, just plain unskilled, untrained
Okay.
intelligence check.
That was remarkably bad.
Super smart.
I'm way too distracted by dead dragons.
Tiburon. Hi, Tiburon. Tabern and Din. So, from completely different perspectives, notice something unusual. As far as you've been able to tell, there's no way this creature could get in here. Like, you've seen the paths leading into, like, you saw that main chamber, the room that you came through before you walked down this forked path, and that was big enough for the for the big gigantic humanoid creature. But every path that was branching off that was too short for something this big, and too narrow for something this big to actually squeeze out of. And then if the only entrance you've seen to this cave is the head statue.
This?
Curious. So if it doesn't smell super terrible, the big blood smear probably makes this a relatively safe place for us to actually just rest for a while, if that's what we need to do.
So I think that each long rest only restores 1 point of ability damage. So we need to be able to rest for a week or something for me and Din to get back.
Just so you guys know, I'm still at 10 strength, so I don't have any.
Yeah, you're not gimped
Yeah,
totally
right.
yet.
I don't have a negative modifier at this point. I mean, it's not awesome, but I'm not,
Yeah, you're still mobile and stuff.
Right.
Unlike when she was completely paralyzed by the frogs.
Right. I've had worse. It's just a flesh wound.
So,
Does Rogar have anything that we can speed up the process? That we could research if we sleep?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm going to be honest, I have not read every priest spell.
Sure.
So I think that so lesser restoration is level 2. I think restoration is level 4, and it might help, but I'm not. It may have expensive components or something. I'm not 100% sure about the spell.
I can check.
Okay, while you check that, so basically the plan at the moment is to spend a couple of hours, at the very least, resting,
Yeah, at
while
least
Rogar performs the rites of passing on the bronze dragon. Yeah.
Yeah,
That means
so I'm
that
gonna
everyone.
can spend hit dice.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody who is resting, even Brieg, if you're on watch, I imagine you're literally just resting but watching.
right. So I'm gonna
Which will count as a short watch, as a short rest. So all of you can spend your hit die if you need them spent. And short rest you also recover.
Key points. Importantly for me.
yeah key points
I
and
get spells.
for the
spells
warlock.
and stuff. Yep. Clerics get their spells. I mean, well, you're not going to be resting, but if you rest for
No.
1 extra hour, you don't get them unless you daily rest. Do you?
No,
As a cleric.
there's some things wizards get to recharge a small portion of their spells. I don't know if clerics have anything like that. Do you get your channel divinity back on a short rest? Maybe. I feel like most classes have
Something
they
they
get
get back.
something they get back.
Did everything go dark, or did I just get lost?
I think you just got lost.
I don't know
Yeah, I
where
think
I
I
am.
get the class or bonus stuff back, and I get my breath weapon back for my racial, but I don't think I remember getting any spells back.
So maybe I can't. No, I guess only the DM can center the camera. I was trying to rescue Ding.
I saw your ding, but maybe my I think my dark vision wore off because we rested for 8 hours.
Oh.
So I woke up and the whole world was just pitch black.
No. Oh yeah, I need a new light stick.
you
It's
can
bad.
you can come by periodically, and I'll recast light on your stick.
You no longer carry a torch. You just carry the.
It's a
heart of
torch.
It's a, yeah.
He
it's a
could
torch
probably
that got,
poison something by
spider acid
bapping
on
it with the end that got spidered.
So, have we thought about how the giant got in here? Was it magical, or is there an entrance that we haven't seen, or?
It's hard to say. Have we looked at all the
I
paths
haven't quite
yet?
explored everything. I think we ought to
right.
go back and pick the entrance that would have been on the right of the one we went down, because that seems to be. I don't know. I just chose
Three?
that one.
You wanna-
I'm a dwarf.
you
We're
wanna-
underground. Let's
You
do
want to
that
go
one.
down 3?
Was that 3? I was going to pick a number, but I wasn't sure which direction you were counting in.
This one.
The methodical completionist that played Baldur's Gate over here is really annoyed that we're not doing this in order, going
Like,
Oh, there
put
was
your finger
sword.
on one of the walls and trace it around so you
right,
make sure you go everywhere.
straight up and down to make sure that we get all the corners. But
You guys, there were 4. I only had you pick a number between 1 and 3.
well,
Did you mean
4
not
looks
this
like
one,
it's
right?
probably kind of little.
Which one of
Well,
them
Go stick my head
has
up
the
there.
biggest opening?
I'm going down 4.
But this one, I wanted the. Okay.
I think they connect. Nope. Wait, maybe.
Alright.
They connect.
Yeah, 3 and 4 are the same.
Okay.
Great, let's go to 1. That's where I wanted to go.
To 1? I'm confused.
Oh, so you did want to be completionist with me.
That's correct.
Okay.
I was thinking that was the least likely to go anywhere.
So wait, where are we going?
We've gone
One.
around a loop. Did we not want to check the end of this loop while we're dead?
Where did you
Yeah.
guys go?
Whatever. We're the most disorganized group of explore. None of us has ever explored a cave before, and we're just not good at it.
I think part of the problem is that we haven't ever really appointed anyone to be in charge.
I don't think we need anyone in charge.
Oh, charge is the best that way.
We just need someone in front.
Well, I understand that all of our opinions are important and whatnot, but sometimes having a leader can be helpful.
Harbeck said he wanted to go down 1.
All right.
I thought Bogar was in charge.
Well, if we have a leader, it should clearly be me because I talk the most.
Or perhaps it should be someone that makes the best decisions.
Well, then it
Right.
should be
Yeah, I
Brig
thought
because
Bogar was in-
I don't
there are
think
several
any of
people
us
helping
have-
you make better choices, apparently.
I-
You get to think like 4 times as fast as the rest of us.
There's the big
In my experience, you tend to. I mean, you do. You haven't said "I told you so" enough times yet about the thing because you told us so.
Yeah, I did, but I was feeling bad about but Din almost getting
Made it to
eaten.
the end.
Like,
There's nothing here.
she doesn't seem to be doing well, and I felt bad rubbing it in.
Well, you do have a lot of "I told you so" credit stocked up. Just make sure that you
I'll
spend
save
it
it.
wisely.
I'll save it
There's
for later.
nothing down here. Oh, I guess
There are
I
other
should actually search it.
there are other qualities in a leader besides just making good choices, and I don't have any of the other ones. So maybe I'm not the best choice.
I would like to point out that I have made frequent good choices and everyone just ignores them and doesn't believe it until Tabarin says the same choice that I said.
How about this structure for leadership? If anyone outside the party asks, I'll be the leader and I'll talk to them. And if we ever need to make a decision, don't let me make it.
That was
That
a
seems to
great
be
roll.
the wisest bet.
That was a great roll. Din. So you were like, this feels weird. This path doesn't go anywhere, and there's
Why
nothing
is there
down here.
nothing down here?
And you sort of like start feeling around on the rock, looking for maybe squishy spider webs or something, trying to work out if there's something going on down here. And you push on a rock,
Like I do.
and it reveals a narrow crack.
Oh, you guys, I found a thing! Uh-oh.
How narrow is the crack? Is the crack Brig narrow?
Wait,
the
wait,
crack
wait,
is-
wait. There are more mimics in there, you guys.
There's a crack that would suggest that anybody can get through it. Harbeck and Rogar would struggle, but it's definitely like you can't stand in the gap. You squeeze through the gap.
You know how
Except- Except Brig, who just walks through the gap casually.
sometimes a gun is just a gun. Sometimes a chest is just a chest.
I don't understand.
Okay, why doesn't everybody stand back and I'll check for traps and whatnot?
Already in.
You're not doing a great job at the whole standing back thing.
think
I had to
do
move the
check
cameraman
traps.
through. Maybe Harbeck's still on the other side of the gap.
Well, actually, as I recall, perhaps one of you should look at the chests and see if there are traps, and I can take care of them should you find anything.
Can I get a perception
Yeah.
check from everybody, please?
Harbeck decided to listen to Brig this time because he was right in the relatively recent past, and he was very right. So Harbeck's not in there. Do you want to? I just put him in for camera. Do you want a perception check from me too?
No. If you're
Okay.
just in there for camera.
I don't know where I left the wolf. I'm not good at this game. We'll find him on the way back out.
He's just off doing his thing. Brig, you're on edge, right? And Din is on edge, and Tabrin is. Everybody's a little bit on edge right now. So when you hear rocks sort of rolling down the wall, like just little rocks rolling down the wall,
It's not. It's bad.
you realize that something is a little bit wrong. And so you manage to glance up and you don't have disadvantage, which is convenient. On this next roll, can I get initiative from everybody? Just
Initiative.
Wait, do you
I
want to
will
clear
put
the
myself
thing?
back where I am standing.
Clear the thing before we click initiatives.
Oh, right, yes. Thank you. Good. Go. Initiative, go.
I have 0 initiative.
How'd you do that?
Not really. I have 2.
Just not feeling very self-motivated right now.
I have 0 initiative.
Did it again. There we go. Okay. So, if I sort by descending, right. Din, Brig, and Rogar, you're all going to get an action before this thing does whatever
What
it was
is
going to
this
do.
What is this thing? That Bradford named this monster.
Oh,
Perched up
bird.
above,
It's a plane.
it's
a
not.
Wyvern?
It's a... No, it's definitely a young drake.
Cameraman.
Oh, do we not have to not kill this?
What flavor are its scales?
What flavor are its scales?
Caramel.
Pardon?
Caramel.
Caramel.
If you need a
That sounds
flavor,
delicious.
it looks like caramel flavors. I'm just... Don't ignore me. I need to shut up better.
Harbeck needs food, is what Harbeck needs.
I have really delicious cupcakes.
Its scales are a muddy brown. And Rogar, if you roll a religion check, then you will be in a position to be able to actually explain whether or not this is something that you...
I need to know if I should shoot it.
Is it in the room? Because I'm like not in the room yet.
Oh, right, you're not there.
Yeah,
So-
it
I
was
was
Never,
We've
never mind, you
Tavern
guys...
and Din that are
keeping
in.
watch.
just seen bronze, which I assume the scales are like shiny because it's a metallic.
Yeah.
And if this one's
It's-
non-metallic, that's probably our best hint.
But I think that sometimes the quality of the scales changes as they age. Maybe
Wait,
it's
do I shoot
like
it?
We definitely have time to think about that after we
do
roll
you,
initiative.
Yeah.
do you speak?
Brig, do I shoot it? I'm
I
shooting
don't
it.
know.
Brig just
Do-
asked if you speak.
do-
but what-
do you speak
oh,
common?
Din just shot it.
Din, stop.
Din just shot it twice.
Right.
Okay. Din unleashes 2 arrows quickly. Up
The first time
towards
she only
the
shot at it, which may still have been recoverable.
I don't know enough about dragons.
No, apparently not. The second arrow connects with it.
It didn't do much damage, so I've got that going for me.
Brig, it's your action. The dragon looks unhappy.
Oh, what if it
Right.
speaks common?
Do you,
You could
do
make
you
it
speak,
really happy.
Do you speak common?
It screeches at you.
That's sort of a non-answer. Fooey. Vakapuna. I am going to squeeze back through this hole because dragons have breath weapons, and if we are all real close to each other, that makes the breath weapons real good. I'm gonna kinda...
Okay.
But you
That'll
ran
have an
away?
explosion.
But you do all the
Up.
killing.
I'll be back when I can actually get to it with my killing sticks. That's what I
Um,
call my daggers now, apparently.
Rogar, you definitely just heard the screech of some kind of dragon.
It's not the most name-like name, but it's definitely an accurate name.
All right. Yeah. Is there plenty of room to get in the door there?
Nope.
You can get down to where like Harbeck and Brieg are, but that's not really a door, it's a crack, and it would take a full action for you, like a full round to squeeze through.
Right. That doorway.
But you could peek your head in and tell us what we can do.
Can I see in there? Can I see the thing from the entrance?
Tell us if that's a murdery dragon or a non-murdery dragon.
No, you'd have to actually get into the room, or like somebody would have to spend the turn telling you what it is.
Rogar, I shot it.
Okay, so my movement I think was actually all of me just getting there based on the scale.
Yeah,
Is my action getting in, or is that part of my movement?
that's like it's a full round action to squeeze through that gap, unless you're Brieg sized.
Right.
And only Brieg is Brieg sized, so. Right. Tabarin and Din, kindly roll me some reflex saving throws, please. Dexterity
You guys
saving
get to fight a dragon by yourselves because
As
no one else
long
can
as
get in
I-
there and you
as
can't
long
get
as-
out.
Just rolling it kindly gets a kind result. Not very kind.
Yeah, maybe the one guy with the like great dex saves and evasion and stuff should have tanked.
Now you know how
Away.
much.
Nobody see that?
Now you see how much damage the dragons do. 21
Well, the
points of
dragon's
damage.
about to see how much damage I do.
Oh,
21 points of what flavor damage?
21 points worth of acid damage to Tabarin,
21.
and 10 points to Din, because she did pass her reflex.
Fired.
And half damage for a saving through. Is DC 16 Dex. Passed. So I take 10, right?
Yes.
10 points of damage. Okay. Harbeck.
Harbeck looks at the tiny hole in the wall and can't.
There is much screeching and much, like, breathing
Flashes
of something.
of light.
Well, I just
Flashes
saw.
of
Yeah, I just saw the like. My line of sight right now, I can totally see Tabarin, who just did that fiery thing he does when things hurt him. So I have some hint that there's hurting happening in there, but I'm also looking at a giant dwarven barrel-shaped body and a tiny crack in the wall, and I need to make a choice as to whether it's worth plugging the crack in the wall so Brieg can't go help or not. And here's what we're gonna do. Din, catch.
Oh,
I'm gonna toss her a strength drink, so maybe she can have enough strength to help.
what does the strength drink do?
It makes you do lots of extra strength damage on your attacks, and I've never tried it when I had damage to my strength score from mimics. So maybe we get lucky and I'm helpful.
He's never tried it while wielding weapons either,
Only with punching. That's true. But it's my Iron Fist draft that makes me punch things really hard, and I'm hoping that it has some beneficial effect on your combat, because I can't help otherwise. Do I have anything else on my belt that would be useful? Yeah, no. No, that's the only one that's remotely useful. So I'm gonna try. Like, it's just toss her a dose of that.
Okay. Here, Din, get drunk while you fight the dragon. Have one
This
last
is the-
drink.
Best idea ever.
Tabern, it's your action. What
I
would you
probably
like to
have to step to here to get like a throw through the gap.
I am going to cast greater invisibility upon myself.
do? Okay. You flatten and turn to the side, at which point they seem to have completely vanished from sight.
Oh, good.
At which point
You
I
got this, Tim.
will move there, and that's my turn.
Okay, and greater invisibility is the one that allows you to...
Attack and still stay invisible.
Yep, as long as you maintain concentration, right?
Yes.
Okay. Din. Tavern
Yeah.
just vanished.
Great. Everybody left me.
I
We're
gave
still
you a
right here.
drink.
Somebody threw me a beer, so I'm good. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna drink this beer
Yes.
and shoot it again. I hope that's right.
You should.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I guess shooting is way better when your strength is super damaged.
So you hit it for 7 damage.
Wasn't it like up on a ledge?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that I like couldn't get to it. That's why I left. I was waiting for it to come down so that I could murder
Yeah,
him
no.
effectively later.
You
Make
definitely
excuses.
couldn't get up to it without climbing.
totally
It's
bitching.
reasonably
Rude.
high up. It's perched up on like an upper ledge. It's, yeah. Probably 20 feet, 15, 20 feet up.
I did how
So
many damage?
out of standard melee range. You did 7 damage to that one.
That's. It seems weird that one hit and the other one didn't.
Hmm? Oh, sorry. I looked at the second number for some silly reason.
Okay.
You did 11 damage.
Okay.
Let me take off 4 more hit points. Okay.
I mean, I know it's not a lot. Still.
Brig. What would you like to do with your action, sir?
It is still up on the thing. I still think that this is like the baby of the one that the dragon ate, and that it's only fighting us because we shot it. And
Nobody told me. Everybody just left.
I tried to tell you to stop. You know,
He
you
did.
shot and missed, and then I was like, didn't stop, and then you shot and hit, and I was
His
like,
I told you
"What is
so. I told you so score is going up.
So I'm gonna.
That's a
just
real statistic, by the way.
I'm gonna say, Rogar, I think that Din is in there fighting, and I'm not sure that the dragon is actually something that we need to be fighting. You've got to get in there and stop what's going on, or, you know, help if it is something we should be fighting.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I'm just
and that's it.
just confused.
Okay, just confused. Rogar, it is your action.
So, I don't know if this actually affects anything, but I think there's a slight misconception about just how big around I am. Because I'm only 260 at 6'8". Like, I'm not particularly rotund. Still
No,
big.
No, but you're very
Either way,
big.
yes. Spending my turn getting in.
Okay.
Which means I'm pretty committed to this, because that's
Yeah.
probably going to wreck me if I try to leave again.
All right. You managed to squeeze your way in.
Now you can see the thing. Tell us what the thing is.
Is there
Roll a-
talking time? Is there... Okay.
Yeah, like there'll be talking time. Roll a religion check for me first, though. There are a lot of different types of dragons. You need to make sure you're correct. A 19. This isn't a dragon. It's an abomination.
Oh.
What am I doing out here?
Say the word.
Then I will say that. That's no dragon.
Oh, good.
That's no moon. Sorry.
It's a trap.
It's a drop. It's a drop. So then, we move on to... What is this thing? Right. So... seeing your shiny metal scales under all of that glorious lacquered armor, this thing swoops down and claws at you with its talons. "23.
That does hit me.
Yowza.
Take 11 points of damage. And after swooping and slashing at you with its talons, it flies back up and resumes perching on its ledge. Harbeck.
I really don't want to get stuck in this crack and leave Brig outside of it. I am going to wait and react after Brig and then block the gap in case I don't make it through.
Okay. Tavern.
All right.
What is in your camera?
Do I have?
It's a sticker I picked up one time.
That goat doesn't even know my butt.
Do I have advantage, right? If I'm invisible. that right?
Yes, I believe so.
23 to hit.
Yep.
And 25 to hit, 25 damage total. And then I'm going to move over there.
I'm getting grumpy.
Did he do exactsies again? That's actually really good timing because we need to end the broadcast in like 2 minutes. So...
Tavern don't
I'm
need
really
no ranger
sorry.
perk. Awesome.
Thanks for showing up.
Why do I even bother? So you walk around the corner. In the next room, you find 4 target dummies that have precisely the right amount of hit points for just one shot.
This is... Tonight it's Tabrin. It's usually Brig's job to do that.
Yeah, but see, when Brig kills things, he overkills them by like 30 hit points, and that doesn't feel so bad because,
Right.
you know, it's Tavern just exactsies every time. Every time. Like, that's every monster in this dungeon.
You are way too honest. I think if I was the DM, every monster in this dungeon would suddenly find an extra hit point. Just one!
After the first 3, you're like, you know what? It didn't die
No.
because
It is very heavily wounded. Shut up.
it didn't die because screw you guys.
Okay, so there is a bunch of loot in this room, and it is not hidden. It's once you're on the other side of this room, now that you've had a chance to have a bit of a look around in it, because
Harbeck sticks his head in, and tries not to get stuck. Ooh,
Still
shiny.
putting my bow on the nearest chest because I just don't trust them anymore.
I'll stand back here and mage hand them open and show
It opened by itself.
and show to him that they're
Now there are 3 arrows in the lid of the chest.
Din, that's me. I did that. And there's no teeth or tongues.
Over
Just
here.
it's magic. They're magic
Like the
rope. Did it?
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Does that somehow make it better?
anyway, so from the other side of this room, literally like just inside the crack, there appears to be like another button, and when one of you inevitably pushes it because you're a bunch of like
Because science.
inquisitive clowns, basically this whole section of wall in the middle there opens up, and makes like ample room for like a large ogreish humanoid to even be able to walk in here.
I was totally worried I was going to have to retract my head super quickly when they pushed that button. Like one side opens it, the other side closes it.
Anyway, so there's a bunch of loot in here. None of it is of like real note. It's mostly financial wealth. A lot of shiny things, gold, gems, some like
There's just
fine
garbage.
weaponry and stuff, but nothing that like sticks out to you as super shiny. You know,
Just think of how many apples this room is worth then.
At least 4.
But yes, there's considerable wealth. There's more wealth than you would like be comfortable carrying around the rest of the dungeon. So,
So we should keep it here.
If we can figure out how to close this off, we can leave it here and come back for it later.
You know where the button is now.
Right, but we just need to figure out how to close it. Maybe the same button closes the wall that opened it.
Do you think there are a lot of other people wandering around this cave looking for treasure?
Well, they hid it for a reason. I imagine we have the same reason.
Right, but, well, yeah, I guess you're not wrong. It just seems that...
Not wrong!
It's just that, you know, we'll be leaving it for maybe a few hours while we finish exploring, not for...
So excited to be not wrong.
However.
Harbeck cuts Brieg's sentence off mid-sentence because he can't breathe anymore because it's time for a big ol' Harbeck hug. Not wrong!
and on that note, so there's a whole bunch of wealth. We'll decide what to do with that when we come back to next D&D cast. And I think we'll call that a session. So we didn't quite get as far as I was hoping.
We never do. Next D&D cast is going to be on the Saturday, not the Friday, due to some schedule conflicts. So if you just got the Patreon update with the monthly schedule, it already changed. And changed D&D from 17 to 18. And if you didn't get that update, now you know. D&D is on the 18th. That'll swap the Java Llama stream that weekend to the Friday. So we won't miss one to do D&D.
Good session, guys. I had a lot of fun. I really like these dynamically lit maps because it basically creates an environment where the players can explore without having to have constant input from the DM.
Yeah, no, it's super nice. You put
So
a lot of
I can-
effort into this one, too. There are a lot of intricate walls here.
You had to click the mouse many times to make this.
Yeah, I did. There was a lot of doings on this particular map. But
And
yeah,
it freed us up, like, also... We just walked down the hall and had, like, a whole in-character conversation while we were walking down the hall, instead of saying, I walk 3 more steps forward, what do I find? Like, you know, like, that bit of roleplay that was facilitated by this new mechanic, so worth it.
Absolutely, and it frees it up so much. It allows the party to explore a little bit more organically. I think it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will be endeavoring to make sure I have whatever maps I have light mapped for future sessions, definitely, because that was really cool.
Yeah, it was fun to be able to roleplay that whole scene with the sleeping giant and backing out and not having to...
Yeah, I love all of us whisper yelling at each other. That was my favorite part of tonight.
The only issue I see, and it's not a huge issue, is the fact that that obviously sometimes the players can't see everything. I will set up like a little camera sprite. It'll be like a little will-o-wisp icon or something that Harbeck can basically move.
Right, so the stream can see stuff, we can, like, track Harbeck's position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we
yeah.
should sign off for the evening. If we've like briefly discussed thinking of like a best line of the night and using that as a sign off. And if you have one in mind, now's the time for those.
I told you so.
That's absolutely. I think Brig wins this one.